This is Kasturi Day. Today I'm again continue with the this carbon and its compounds chapter. Today I'll discuss with you the greenhouse effect and global warming. Okay, so what is greenhouse effect? So what happens that when the earth, when the sun's rays fall on the earth, they reflect, some of them they reflect back to the space. Okay, but this radiations which come from the sun, they are not allowed, some of the rays are not allowed to escape into the space because of the carbon dioxide present in the air, which forms a uh, what do you say, a blanket type of thing. Okay, which will not allow the whole of the heat which comes to the earth from the sun to escape into the space. That keeps the earth warm. Okay, and that gives us a greenhouse effect. Why it is known as greenhouse? Because in the colder regions, what happens, in the colder regions, this technique is used to produce to grow plants which grow generally in the tropical regions. They are grown on there in a glass house. Okay, in a glass house, this sun's rays, they come inside the house, house, that is inside the glass house, but do not uh, 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 reflect back outside, because glass is a bad conductor of heat, so it traps the heat inside, keeping the house warm. Okay, that is why it is known as greenhouse. So the thing is that the trapping of the earth's radiated energy by carbon dioxide, which is present in the air, to keep the earth warm, that is known as greenhouse effect, and the name is given so because in the colder regions this principle is applied to grow plants of the warmer climates in a house made up of glass walls. This glass house allows sun's heat to enter the house, but this trapped heat cannot get out. This is due to the fact that glass is a bad conductor of heat. This makes the house sufficiently warm inside to grow the tropical plants, and that is the greenhouse effect. Okay. Now, when this carbon dioxide concentration rises in the atmosphere, that leads to pollution. Okay, and along with this, along with the greenhouse, the carbon dioxide, there are certain other gases also which are present and present in the atmosphere, which can lead to pollution and which can produce the greenhouse effect. Okay, and that those gases are also known as greenhouse gases, like nitrous oxide, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, methane, etc., which they increase the air, this pollution in the air. All of these have created a thermal blanket around the earth, trapping more of heat and increasing the greenhouse effect, and this has produced the global warming. Okay, to a certain amount, this warmth of the earth is required for the existence of life on the earth, but when it increases its limit, okay, it crosses its limit, then the earth becomes warm, hot. That is known as global warming. Okay, so the causes of the increased percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is mainly, there are two causes. One is deforestation and the air pollution, which is caused due to industries, burning of the fuels, use of the chemical weapons, etc. Okay, and what are the effects of the global warming? When the global warming takes place, what happens? What are the consequences of this global warming? The average temperature of the earth has risen to by 0.5 degrees centigrade in the past 100 years. In the past 100 years, this has increased, the temperature of the earth has increased by 0.5 degree centigrade. Ice in the polar caps, due to this global warming, the ice which is present in the polar regions, they started melting. Okay, and they as they start melting, the rivers are overloaded with water, which can cause floods in the coastal region and islands. Okay, like the Gangotri glacier which is melting. Then a disturbance in the ecological balance, it can disturb the ecological balance, which may be caused, which may affect the rainfall patterns, agriculture, forests, etc. Many species of plants and animals may become extinct. Okay, like the polar regions, the as the ice is melting, so the animals of the polar region, they will also lose their existence in there, and so they can become extinct, may affect the pattern of crop cultivation also, because water, when it will flood the fields, then the crops will not grow which have been growing there. Okay, usually. Now the steps to balance this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. First, we need to afforest. That is, we need to plant more trees, plant more vegetation around the world, so that they can hold the moisture. It can purify the air, rather, it can purify the atmosphere by photosynthesis. Okay, and also it can hold the this soil by its roots. Then reducing the consumption of fossil fuels, we should reduce the consumption of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are like petrol, kerosene. We should not, as the more we will burn this fossil fuels, the pollution, the carbon dioxide will be coming out more. Okay, which will this not only carbon dioxide, the other harmful gases will also come out, which can increase the global warming. Then using smokeless source of energy, we should use smokeless source of energy like solar energy, biogas, that can reduce the pollution of the atmosphere and thereby reducing the global warming. Then we should use filters in the chimneys of factories and powerhouses. Okay, so that we can the harmful gases are not given out in the atmosphere. Okay, then we come to carbon monoxide. So this is the end of carbon dioxide. Now we come to carbon monoxide. See, carbon monoxide is a molecular formula as CO, capital C, capital O. Its relative molecular mass is 28. Now, where does it occur? It's found in places where carbon and its compounds are burned in large amounts, but in limited supply of air, where the air oxygen is not sufficient. Okay. Then also they are also present in the coal gas, volcanic gases, then tobacco fumes, chimney gas, and also gases, and also in the automobile exhausts. This carbon dioxide is found. Now, how this can be formed and how this can be added into the atmosphere. So, carbon is in the form of coal or charcoal, etc., or its compounds like the fossil fuels, etc., these compounds, or methane, like that. So, if we burn this in limited supply of air, that produces carbon dioxide, which get reduced to carbon monoxide. Okay, so the carbon compounds like coal, charcoal, etc., if we burn them in limited supply of air, so first it will produce carbon dioxide, but that will, as there is limited supply of air, so it will get reduced to carbon monoxide. Then even petrol and diesel also, which are present in the automobile engines, they also, when they burn in limited supply of oxygen, that produces carbon monoxide. Even plant materials like grass, husk, etc., when they catch fire in limited supply of air, that produces carbon dioxide. So one thing is very important, that to produce carbon monoxide, there should be insufficiency of oxygen. Less amount of oxygen should be used to produce carbon monoxide. Next is, we come to the properties of carbon monoxide. It is a colorless, tasteless and neutral gas. It has a faint color, faint odor rather. It's colorless, tasteless and neutral, but it has a faint odor and it is highly poisonous. Okay, it is very sparingly soluble in water. Okay, it's thermally stable, that is, it does not decompose even at high temperatures. combustible, it is a combustible gas, that is it can burn, but it's a non-supporter of burning. It does not support burning, but it can itself burn. In air, it burns with a blue flame forming carbon dioxide. In air, when it burns, it produces a blue flame forming carbon dioxide. It has a reducing property, and it can reduce heated oxides to their respective heated metal oxides to form their metals, respective metals, like zinc oxide, then ferric oxide, then lead oxide, copper oxide. These are all reduced to their respective metals. Like for example, see the this one example is there, two examples, like copper oxide with carbon monoxide. When heat is given, it forms copper and carbon dioxide. Even ferric oxide reduces through iron, that is ferrous, okay, and this carbon dioxide is formed. Due to this property, it is widely used in the industry, metallurgy industry, to accept iron industry. It forms it from its ore. Okay. Now, it's poisonous nature of carbon monoxide. It's highly poisonous gas because 1% of this gas by volume in air can kill a person within 10 minutes. See how poisonous it is. It is 300 times more soluble in blood as compared to oxygen. It has very much, it has a lots of affinity towards hemoglobin rather than oxygen. It combines with the blood. It reacts with hemoglobin of the RBC, forming carboxyhemoglobin, a compound which will not allow to absorb oxygen. So the RBC loses the capacity to carry oxygen to various parts of the body, and which can result in the death of the person due to the lack of oxygen. Okay. Then harmful effects of carbon monoxide if we sleep in a closed room with a coal fire burning. In a closed room, there is a limited supply of air. So when we are present there, when we are sleeping there with a closed room and coal fire is burning, it will produce carbon monoxide, which is colorless gas, and we will not even it does not have a smell. So it's barely detectable smell. So we will not be able to know that carbon monoxide is being produced, and it will be a silent killer. Okay. Even it is not advisable to sleep near the lime kilns also. Okay. Next is starting a car engine is inside a closed garage. Closed garage is also when we burn this when we start an engine in a closed garage, what will happen? This carbon monoxide is produced. Okay, tobacco smoking is also a great health hazard which produces this smoke. This carbon monoxide is produced, okay, which can affect the eyesight as well as the respiratory system. So I'll stop here. I'll continue with the rest of the chapter in my next video. Please go through this. If you have any doubt, please do let me know. Please do write in the comment box, and also do share and do comment, and also do subscribe to get the notification of my next video. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.